BFF Report. I'm your host, Mike B, aka Phony, and today we're going to talk about a game called Spiral Knights. Now, this game was actually requested by you guys. I wouldn't have typically gone back and picked something that old, even though I did Requiem and maybe some other games that are older than that. But typically, I don't go back and say, oh, let me see what game was released over a month ago and play them, because the internet considers those things old, right? This is kind of how the internet works. You guys know that. Portal 2. Let me do a video on Portal 2 right now. Oh, that game is so old. Who's going to even look at that video? That's kind of how the internet works, okay? Let's face it. Anyways, you guys picked it. I did it. Let's check it out.
All right, character creation. Now, as you can see, this isn't the most extensive character customization that we've seen. However, given the style choice and the art style of the game itself, it kind of makes sense that you're not going to have a billion choices to work with. Also, don't be afraid thinking that this is the way your character looks. A lot of times when you pick how your armor looks at the beginning of games, that's kind of how your character looks forever. That is not the case here. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's go ahead and go through here. You can see the armor changes my armor style. It's a basic style. Again, we can swap that out later. My helm, pretty self-explanatory. All right, here's a good look. Like, I think. I don't know, this kind of looks cool. Let's see, change the design color and everything. I could change the actual highlight color, which is nice. I can go through here and just kind of change where the accent falls and all that. Again, wow, right? A whole lot of customization options, but it's totally cool. You'll find out why soon. Enter in a name. Let's see, let's think of something here. Perfect. All right, confirm. What? Come on. Dude, you gotta be... how is it? Come on, dudes. There's no way that... Whatever. There. Okay, take this. Thank you. Getting into the game, the first thing I noticed is that it is an obvious hack and slash. I thought going into it, I didn't actually read about it because everyone was like, oh, play Spiral Knights. And so I jumped right into it, and I thought it was going to be like a top-down or something like that. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that there's going to be some kind of action going on in this game. Hack and slash, dungeon crawler, torchlight, darkspore, Diablo, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely one of those. So kind of nice, little bit of action. Use your mouse to steer around, right click, left click, basic controls, right? And the other thing I noticed is that this looks a whole lot like Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I mean, like, a whole lot like it. I mean, I remember one time when I was a kid, this is a true story, by the way, I went over to Buddy's house and we was like there all day looking for the Moon Pearl, right? This is before you had like the internet and guides and all that good stuff. So we were looking for the Moon Pearl all day because we were sick and tired of Link going over to the dark side of the Hyrulean universe and turning into a pink bunny. And so finally we found it and we was like, yeah! We were so excited. My buddy jumped up in the air. He did this whole like fist pump thing. He's all, yeah, Moon Pearl! And he punched his lamp and the lamp shattered into a billion pieces all over the floor. And then like his mom came in and she was pissed. Anyways, let's keep moving. The UI is pretty straightforward. Upper left corner, you have access to all of your social stuff. Lower left corner, you have the chat, which is something that I try to ignore because it looks like this all the time. Upper right corner, we have the mini-map. Right below that, we have crowns. This is the currency you accumulate while you do dungeons. And in the lower right corner, you have energy. And energy is also a currency, and it's also something that gets spent whenever you do things like craft or use an elevator or revive yourself or revive somebody else or revive your team or use another elevator, or pretty much everything requires just a little bit of energy. And energy costs money or time. But time is money, so energy costs money. So we'll get into all that in just a second. Your starting hub city is called Haven, and this is where you go to do all of your trading. You have a trade chat, you have you can buy things, you can do crafting, you can buy weapons, there's all kinds of things you can do. And then you go into the back area, it's called the arcade, and back here is where you can enter in the different dungeons. And there are all these gates lined up in the back wall. And the way the gates work is on the left-hand side, we have the ones that are currently active, and they all have like a theme or something, right? Let's just say, let's just use something generic like, if I have a fire sword, then if I go into an ice level, then that means that my fire sword will be much more effective that way. They have things like this in the game. Now, not that specifically, but things like that. Now, on the right-hand side, these gates are not yet constructed. And in these gates, you can actually determine the theme of the levels by depositing specific ores or specific minerals or whatever into the chamber here. Now, if everybody doesn't work together and pick a specific theme, then the system will automatically generate a random level, making things a little bit difficult for those that maybe have all fire gear or something, right? Now, getting your hands on all this ore and minerals and consumables and materials and all that stuff can all be done by going inside of the dungeons. Now, entering a dungeon costs you a little bit of energy just to take the elevator down. and every dungeon is composed of a party. You could choose if you want to join a party or if you want to start your own. A lot of times, I found myself getting into a dungeon, and it was like halfway done, or it was like almost done. But which is fine. I don't mind. But it does kind of suck, I guess, if you show up and then like the thing's over and you just paid some energy to get in. I think it's kind of weird. Anyways, each gate is separated into like a billion tiers. It's like 20 something tiers, and so 0 through like 7 is like tier 1, and then like 8 through whatever is tier 2, and then tier 3, and so on and so forth. Now you actually have to have a specific gear score, we'll call it, in order to get past tier 1. In this case, it's 2 stars, right? So you have different star like rating, and then according to my little quest log here, it says I have to do X number of quests, and then I have to actually have a whole bunch of tier 2 gear. So how do I get tier 2 gear? Well, I can either run a whole bunch of dungeons, right? And then maybe get a bunch of mats together and build some stuff, okay? Or like gather a bunch of crowns and spend them on things or whatever. Or I could just spend some cash on some energy and convert that over into crowns and then just buy a whole bunch of tier 2 gear, right? I could do that. But of course, we'll save that for later. Let's go ahead and talk about the composition of dungeons, the types of fights you're going to be getting into, and the puzzles that they lay out in front of you. Now, when I got into some of these matches, there were times when everybody else would just bail on me. They just leave, and so I'm just by myself, right? Here I am fighting this dog that dodges like everything, but I have like no HP, so I'm forced to pretty much dance around in a big circle until I kill him. I do eventually win this fight. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and watch this fast forward. Ta-da! See? Now, the thing is, you think, oh, I can just do all these by myself. Not true. There are a lot of times you actually do have to have somebody assisting you to get through here. Some of the puzzles actually require more than one person to complete, right? Like you have to shoot a gear here that's gonna release this door here, and then you have to go through, and somebody has to shoot the other gear so you can release the other door, and then you have to shoot this one for him, and then he goes through the first one you just went through, and then you have to repeat that process until you get everybody through. Those things exist. So you can't just solo everything, but I feel like the puzzles are more multiplayer oriented than the fights themselves, because a lot of times, again, you can just do it yourself. The other downside to having this team-style gameplay is that you're always gonna have some jerk who's just gonna be sitting there chilling, just like, oh yeah, I'm looking how awesome my gear is, it's amazing. I'm just gonna sit there. Oh, you guys need me to go stand on that plate? I'll be there in just a second, just as soon as I get done sitting here, just kind of talking about myself, and I'll teach you guys some stuff if you want, because I've been playing this game for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got some knowledge I want to lend you. Just shut up and get in the stupid elevator. That kind of stuff happens, not all the time, but sometimes, and I couldn't find a way to kick somebody out of the group, and it's not like I could really kick him because everybody was actually really interested in what he was saying for some reason. I wasn't, so obviously I'm the jerk. Whatever. Now let's go ahead and talk about energy for a second. This is a form of currency that you can use to spend on various different things. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of things that you could throw energy at. One of them is actually like opening up a gate that might have some treasure behind it when you're inside of a level. That costs 3 energy. Taking an elevator to go to the next level in a dungeon costs 10 energy. Resurrecting yourself, I think, costs like 3 or 4 energy. So energy gets spent doing a little bit of everything. So let's just say you're a tightwad and you only spend it on just elevators, okay? So you're getting as much content consumption as you can without spending it on just crap. You could do 10 dungeons in a row, and then if you want to do another one, you have to wait 2 hours, like just a little over 2 hours, like 132 minutes, because the rate of generation is 1 energy per 13.2 minutes. The bar will max at 100, and it takes 22 hours for it to do that. The only way to circumvent this is by purchasing energy, whether you're using crowns, which is like 4,000 crowns for 100 energy, or just by spending a couple bucks. Now, 4,000 crowns takes you a good amount of dungeons to accumulate, or things to sell, right? To get enough crowns to convert into 100 energy. Or you could just spend a couple bucks in the cash shop. Alright, so what I'm about to show you is what it's like to take IRL money, turn it into in-game money that you could spend on actual items and not just like non-combat pets and stuff like that. I'm going to spend $5 of my own money to demonstrate this for you guys. You better love me for it. Now, 100 energy, I just bought like a ton of it, right? 100 energy is going to get me 4,000 crowns. That's the going rate right now. Now this fluctuates based off of the market. Now that I have purchased a whole bunch of crowns, I'm gonna go over here and just says, oh look, there's some 2-star gear. Sure, I'll go ahead and buy me some of that. Thank you very much. Oh, some more? Sure, no problem. Buy me some of that. I'm just gonna buy, what is it, the jelly gear? I'm just gonna buy all this jelly gear. I don't even know what it looks like. I don't even care. I'm just gonna go ahead and just see what's going on. He'll see. Yep, okay, and thank you, sir. All right, now let's go ahead and put on all my new fancy gear. Dang, check me out, check me out. Look at my dude, right? I mean, it's kind of weird looking, actually. But it doesn't matter because you know what? It is amazing. Now I'm going through these dungeons and I am just destroying fools left and right. It's nuts. Look at this. Look at my dude. First thing happens, as soon as I walk into a dungeon. Whoa, dude, where'd you get that gun? Bro, don't worry about it. Like, I worked hard for it. I mowed like half a lawn, okay? Feel free, though, to continue being jelly of my pink jelly outfits or something.
Alright, so the game is developed by 3 Rings and published by Sega. This is a free-to-play MMO hack and slash something. I don't really know how to classify it. It's a free-to-play game. And before you guys get crazy, yes, it looks like Legend of Zelda The Four Sword Adventures or whatever, but I never played that game. I just, I was more into the older stuff. Sorry, I'm old. Anyways, what do you guys think, man? Like, the way the energy system works and purchasing it and the way all that, if you guys played Vindictus, you're kind of already used to this style, right? Like, you get like a couple coins on Wednesday and then on Friday, and then on Monday you just don't have any left. Let me know, comments below, or at aka Mike B. I think Prius is in open beta right now, which I might be checking out. There's also some others. There was something else that was really good. What was it? Oh, that's right.